Dr. Jordan Peterson, clinical psychologist, University of Toronto professor, world-renowned lecturer, and more than anything else, I consider him a contemporary philosopher, all right? He wrote a book called 12 Rules for Life. I highly recommend you check it out. I'll link out to it below. But in this video, we're going to be talking about his number one rule for life, which he lays before any of the other 11 rules. So, when we take a look at the environment in which complex life evolved, we can see that territory matters, all right? And because the best quote-unquote territory, whether that means the best in terms of resources or the climate or any other factors that the territory provides, the best territory is in limited supply, all right? So whether we look at the animal world, in which obviously like lions have their prides, they're controlling their territory, even birds are territorial. I mean, most complex life that has evolved on this earth is territorial, all right? Now, since the best territory is in limited supply, this creates conflict amongst the organisms that are competing for that territory, all right? Now, obviously, this conflict now leads to another problem, which is how the organisms that are engaged in the conflict can resolve it and establish who will actually inhabit that territory without either of the parties inflicting too much damage, all right? Now, this is an important point to consider because of this fact is where dominance hierarchies actually come into play. And the first rule of Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life is to stand up straight with your shoulders back. So in his first chapter, Jordan Peterson uses the example of lobsters, who have been around on this world for about 1/3 of a billion years at this point, all right? And to provide some context, to the lobsters, the dinosaurs came and they went like it was nothing. It was like a glimpse in the fucking spectrum of time, all right? It was like a glimpse on the radar and it was nothing. So even in lobsters, who have been around on this world for 1/3 of a billion years at this point, they have dominance hierarchies, all right? They don't have complex nervous systems, they don't have a complex neurochemistry, but they do have dominance hierarchies. So he uses this point to establish the fact that dominance hierarchies, status hierarchies are an essential and permanent feature of the complex environment in which complex organisms evolved. So when we look at evolution in terms of biology, Jordan Peterson mentions that conservatism is a truism of biology. So what this means is that for the most part, evolution is building upon itself. So yeah, new features can be added, old features can be alterated, but for the most part, the old features remain the same. And this is why the wings of bats, the fins of whales, and the hands of humans essentially have a very similar skeletal structure. And when we look at the amount of bones within these three organisms, humans, bats, and whales, actually the fins are actually have the same amount of bones as well, all right? So what this means is, once again, it lends credence to the fact that dominance hierarchies are an essential and permanent feature of the world that we evolved in, and the ancient part of the human brain has developed the capacity to assess your status and value based on how you are perceived by others. And this is why, once again, I'll tell you that Jordan Peterson's number one rule for life is to stand up straight with your shoulders back. So Harvard researcher Amy Cuddy actually had a very popular study in which she went over some subjects in high power and low power body positions. So basically, high power body positions are dominant body language, low power positions are low status body language, and the results in her study revealed that when the students adopted the high power body language, their testosterone levels went up and their cortisol levels went down. Now there's a lot of critics on this study because the results were not exactly replicated. So I mean, yeah, we can dive deeper into that in another video. Amy Cuddy had a rebuttal, etc., etc. But Jordan Peterson basically makes the point that we are not just a physical body, all right? Yes, when you're standing up straight with your shoulders back, you're physically standing up, but you are not just a body, you are also a spirit. You have a psyche, all right? So when you're standing up physically, Yes, that's one aspect of it, but you are also standing up metaphysically. And I'm just going to run off this video by a quote that Jordan Peterson uses to end his first chapter, which sums up and encapsulates everything that we are talking about. And I quote, "To stand up straight with your shoulders back is to accept the terrible responsibility of life with eyes wide open. It means deciding to voluntarily transform the chaos of potential into the realities of habitable order. It means adopting the burden of self-conscious vulnerability and accepting the end of the unconscious paradise of childhood where finitude and mortality are only dimly comprehended. It means willingly undertaking the sacrifices necessary to generate a productive and meaningful reality. It means acting to please God in the ancient language. So attend carefully to your posture, quit drooping and hunching around, speak your mind, put your desires forward as if you had a right to them, at least the same right as others. Walk tall and gaze forthrightingly ahead and dare to be dangerous." So, status is imminent. Body language is an extremely important component of it, not only in how you perceive yourself, but in how others perceive you as well. So stand up straight with your shoulders back. Keep a conscious awareness of how you are carrying your posture, because that ends up affecting your state of being as well. Now, body language is only one aspect of what you need to do in order to strive for your personal power and purpose as a man. And for this reason, I recommend you take my free testosterone quiz below, which will tell you exactly what you need to do in order to naturally increase your testosterone levels moving forward so that you can enter your power and purpose as a man most optimally. All right? Check out the quiz below or go on tripleyourt.com/quiz and you answer a few questions and it'll tell you exactly what you need to focus on moving forward. With all that being said, this has been Saleem from tripleyourt.com and I'll see you soon.